You had a young man that was at school and he had a medical emergency. He was actually having a stroke. And so he went to the nurse. And when he went to the nurse, most nurses, they got some common sense, would call 911 and get him, medical attention. Well, not this nurse at this school. They wanted his mama to come and get him instead during the time of a child having a stroke. Let's roll that clip.
DeAndre Hicks is a 17-year-old junior here at the Henderson Upper School in Dorchester.
In the situation, I do feel kind of like I was let down a little bit.
The situation, he suffered a stroke while in class last week. His mother, Alicia Hicks, says the school called for her to come pick up DeAndre, but Hicks repeatedly asked them to dial 911.
He's going to die if he's stroking. It's taking too long to dial 911.
Hicks says once the nurse described how her son was feeling,
that he came to the nurse's office to report that he was feeling weak, shaky, and that he felt numb, weakness on his left side.
She immediately was concerned he had a stroke and knew because she uses a wheelchair, 911 could get him help faster, which is why she's frustrated school officials put off calling for help.
She said, well, with my medical evaluation, it doesn't look like he needs an ambulance. Somebody should come pick him up.
Hicks says after more than 30 minutes, the school called for an ambulance. Her son was treated at Tufts Medical Center for an acute ischemic stroke. She's speaking out because she believes the situation could have been a lot worse.
Even I know the symptoms of a stroke. Why didn't the nurse? So that's what I would want the school department to emphasize on better training.
Now, y'all have to understand something. We talk about racism, white supremacy. We talk about how it's permeated in every area of society. They have proven time and time again they cannot educate our children because they have anti-black racism. It's taught in their homes. They even proved that they can't really even medically diagnose us right because of anti-black racism. Our children are never in a safe space in the public school system that they're running. We talk about the police, we talk about all these different things, but I still don't understand why black people are sending their children to public school with they running it. During the time of the pandemic, a lot of these schools were closed. A lot of these children was being homeschooled. Doing virtual is another word you want to use with that. That should have been the standard operating procedure for all black children because those children was actually learning something then. Now, I understand some kids had a harder time with that. I understand completely. This is why it comes in that we need to have more schools opening for our children in our community. And we need to get back to the time of when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was alive and with the nation, when it was powerful at that time, they used to press up on these black celebrities and say, hey, what you going to donate to help out the community? You want to donate something. You know what I'm saying? These celebrities today, they're not pressed like that. They don't have to do nothing for the community. It should be automatic. Hey, you need to donate so much to the community. You need to build some schools. You need to do this. You need to do that. You got $100 million contract. You can't at least contribute something to the community? A little bit, bro. We're not asking for your whole check. We just asking for a little bit. Give back to the community that you come from. Just do that much. Because we all need to put a skin in the game, right? And also, when you look at other communities, they do help out their community. Now, I'm not saying all of them don't do it, but we as a people should start putting pressure on these celebrities. And if you don't want to help out, you don't want to build anything, or whatever, then we need to not support them and say, nah, they're a sellout. They don't want to help out the community. They really gonna spend money with all these white folks, but they won't take just a couple of dollars and put it within the community. Start some schools. If they do sports, some sports clubs for the kids, something like that. Anything for our kids. Some dance teams for the girls. Gymnastics. Anything. Maybe some education centers, some daycare centers, a place for our elderly people. Anything to help out. I can sit there on the $100 million and I didn't do nothing with it. I didn't help out nobody. Understand what I'm saying? We need to look more into applying that pressure on people like that. Now, you got some silly black folks gonna say, well, it's not their responsibility. That's the problem. It is their responsibility. Ain't nobody can spend $100 million, $200 million on their own in a lifetime. Nobody can do that. You can buy so many cars, so many clothes, so many homes, so many vacations. You can make sure your kids are good and still have money left. You can contribute something. I don't see how people don't want to have a good legacy when they leave the earth. Our children should not be submitting, to this. In every major city where black people at, we should be able to come together and build schools in all our major cities for our children, multiple schools, where our children have an opportunity to go to a school and they don't have to worry about being treated this way. Ran by the community, maintained by the community. See, like for me, I don't have my daughter in a school because I know better. I don't trust them people at all. Don't trust them. I couldn't be making these videos every day like I'm talking about and go say, here's my child for 8 hours. Can't do that. I don't see how any of you choose to do that. And it's a choice. Because you can also choose to homeschool or do something else. You did it during the pandemic. You did it then, so you can't say you never did it before. You did it. But this young man could have died. And that just really bothers me. That young man should not go. I would not send my child back to that school. He would never go back there. Because the first thing I'm going to say, you almost killed my child. You almost did that. How the hell I'm going to send him back there? No, it ain't happening whatsoever. But, leave me a comment, to think about this particular story. I just hate to see our black children treated this way. And it happens over and over and over and over again. But then it gets to a point, it gets on us to say, why do we keep doing it if we know better and we know there's other options to educate our children?